beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome. My name is Mira. Nice to meet you. I hope you enjoyed this video and that's going to become a part of this amazing family. I'm just saying. If you're a returnee, however, welcome back. I love you so much and thank you for supporting this channel. Anyway, just like the title states, today we're going to be doing a story time about my first times. Yes, in today's video we're going to be talking about some of my first times, like my first kiss, the first time I got drunk, my first crush, my first sex. If you want to see what it's all about, stay tuned. Okay guys, so I know you guys like the juicy stuff, so I'm going to start with my first kiss. My first kiss actually happened with my first boyfriend. I think I got my first kiss when I was like 16 years. I think so. Apart from the normal kids play, I don't remember if someone ever kissed me, but my very first official kiss was around 16. To be honest with you, it was sloppy, okay? My first kiss was kind of disappointing. Like after I finished kissing, I was like, why do people kiss again? It wasn't anything, like I had watched so many movies. You guys, I've always been a sucker for movies. Even as a kid, like my dad and I would always watch movies. Okay, I said that was going to be a story time, so let me tell you the story. So once upon a time, my mom's friend was organizing a party. She used to have this end of year parties. So there's this particular day that she was doing that as usual, and this time she had just bought a guest house, so she wanted that thing to happen at the guest house. So she invited this guy who happened to be a DJ at the time, and then they came to the event. And throughout the event, you guys, we were like kind of admiring each other. After that event, we got back together, like it was a bunch of shy kids doing whatever things, but eventually we actually accepted that we're going to go out with each other, and I got my first kiss from him. I'm not gonna lie, it was like in a very dark place because we were both shy, and it was extremely sloppy. No offense to him, it was extremely sloppy. I was like, why the hell do people do this? Like, it was like us exchanging saliva. It's not cute. Now I love kissing. Now I know that it isn't just about giving each other splits. Like it's more intense than that, you know. Like, okay, I'm going there. Let me know how your first kiss was. Like, was it enchanting? Was it like magical? Like in the movies, you know, like all the Cinderella movies or whatever, you would see like the lights, and then like they close your eyes and it's just like, oh, magical. And was it like that? Or was it just like a dream? Because mine was just like, really. But anyway, yes, that was my first kiss. There was nothing to write home about. Like I had to get used to it. I had to like learn to love it as time went on, and that's it. Okay, so let's move on to story number 2. So story number 2 is my first crush. Now, just in case you've not seen my previous video, there was an embarrassing moment in it where I spoke about my crush. I've always been the kind of person who doesn't crush first. I don't have celebrity crushes. I'm not that kind of child who grew up having paintings of someone in their rooms because they are obsessed with them. I'm not that person. The only person I can say like I'm kind of obsessed with is Rihanna, and even with her, it's like a different kind of obsession, you know. Like I'm not someone who crushes that high. Like once in a while, I'll be like, oh my god, he's cute, but that's it. Like I never crush. But this guy, like with this guy, was different. And even him, I'm super sure if it was like a complete crush, because he kind of liked me, and then we started liking each other, and then he ghosted me, and then like I started like liking him like so much, and he became my crush for like a couple of years afterwards. Basically, like I said, and just like I said, if you've not seen that video, go watch it and then like it and let me know, because I promise to tell that story. If I get 500 likes, like I'll tell you guys the whole story of my crush. Okay, so my first crush was a fucking disaster. Like no caps, it was a disaster. It was a nightmare. I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat. Like, well, I ate, that's a lie, I ate, okay, but I literally dreamt about this guy and I was obsessed, you guys. That is how I know that I'm a Scorpio. That is how I know that this crush thing is not for me. I would post things intentionally just for this guy to see, and I would do things just for this guy to notice. Like I stalked him and he doesn't even post on social media. How do you stalk someone who doesn't post? Exactly, I did it. Okay, the only thing I didn't do is I didn't go to his house or anything of that sort, but like I was obsessed. Like if I see this guy's name somewhere, I'm like, oh my god, he's here. It was tempting. Okay. Crushes are hard. Do not crush. Like, don't crush on people, okay? Crush on yourself instead, because that's all that matters. If you crush on someone, you might crush. My crush, unlike most people's crushes, turned out very well. Like my crush turned out to be a beautiful story. So like I said, let me know in the comment section if you want to hear more about that, and I'll get right into it. So let's move on to the next one, which is the first time I got drunk. You know, all those people who like usually need to drink before they can dance. I'm one of those people, unfortunately. I don't think there's anything wrong with drinking. I don't think there's shame in it because I'm of age, first of all. Like I'm a grown ass woman, so when I say I drink, that is a fact. But actually, there's a difference between the first time I had alcohol and the first time I got drunk. Okay, the first time I had alcohol, let me just tell you a quick story. Okay, the first time I had alcohol was with one of my aunties, my mom's like their last born. When I was young, I used to like going out with the elderly people because like I don't know if you've been following me for a while, but my mouth was too sharp for my own age mates. So I would usually like roll with people who are older than me because, you know, why not? It's a good advice to always roll with people who are older than you. But by the way, I used to do that a lot. So I remember there was this particular time that I went out with them and like we were drinking. I'm like, yo, like the kids are just gonna drink and leave me alone. What are you talking about? And I drank my heart out. I didn't get drunk. They were very careful. They didn't overgive me anything, so it was cool. My mom nearly collapsed when she found out that I had drank for the first time. And you know what's annoying? Like, oh my god, I hate neighbors who can gossip. So I remember at that very time, I went out with them and then they were drinking and they gave me something to drink. And before we got home, someone had already gone home to tell my mom that they saw me drinking with them. I mean, they were old enough, but like they were still at home, so they were not supposed to be drinking as well. Before we got home, it was already a complaint. My mom, I can count the number of times my mom has laid her hand on me, like probably twice max. My mom does not beat kids. She doesn't know how to do it. They nearly killed me, but that's not what this is all about. Okay guys, so the first time I got drunk was when I moved to uni and I was like living with my roommate at that time, Ruby. Unlike most people, we didn't move to a hostel. Like we rented an apartment very close to school. So we used to go from that place. When we moved, we had this neighbor who was extremely nice. We used to call him Stranger. So there was this particular time that I think it was around Christmas on the 26th to be precise. So this guy invited me to like a party that was going on. It was called the Carols Night. It is something that still happens, I think. At the time it was happening at Movenpick, and there was this occasion where like people just go in and have a drink and watch people perform and all those things. So he invited me for this party, and you guys, he just said, okay, the dress code is red and look nice and all those things, and I went. You guys, I had no idea that it was like a bougie party. Like I had no idea that like it was like people like that high coming to this thing. Luckily for me, I wore something that looked good on me. It was like well fitting and all those things. Only to get there, I realized that on my table itself were like big men, and you guys, they were talking about mad money, like crazy stuff. And then like I remember when I got there, he was introducing me to each and every one of them, and he was like, okay, this one has the biggest farm in Ghana. And I was like, I'm like, okay, like they were big people. That's what I'm trying to see. I didn't know anyone apart from him, and he knew a lot of people, so he had to like keep moving around. So I remember that night that we got there, and like I was like, okay, where's the champagne? Like give me some champagne. And I started drinking. I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit disappointed that night because I remember before then I had seen people drinking whiskey and all those things, and like they were always like drinking with a strong face and a hard face, and I was expecting all these whiskeys and brandies and whatever, what do I know, like to be sweet. And I remember when I tasted it, I was like, oh my god, this is terrible. Why do you guys make up the faces? Anyway, that night I drank everything, you guys, literally. That place I acted like a lady. Don't get me wrong, I'm a lady, okay? I know how to act in public. So that place I actually drank wine, and then from that place we went to like this after party at a place called Firefly. That was my place. Like that used to be my place. Now I don't know anymore. But went to Firefly, and I remember that day they had like opened a bigger place. Absolute Vodka was having like a event as well, and he knew a friend who was like one of the organizers. So before we got there, we had like a table, like a huge space that was like just meant for us. And I went in there, and then I started drinking, you guys. There was everything, literally. And even then, I didn't know anyone, okay? And I'm the kind of person that if I don't drink, I cannot dance. Like, I'm so conscious. I'm a very shy person. No one ever believes that I'm shy, but I'm a very shy person. So usually for me to be able to like dance and do certain things, I have to drink. Do not get me wrong. If I'm with my friends, I can fool a lot. But when I'm with like certain people that I don't know, usually for me to be able to dance in a club and all those things, I have to like drink a bit. So I remember like we got there, like there was so much to drink, you guys. Don't be like me. Just because there's so much to drink doesn't mean that you should drink so much. We got there and there was so much to drink, and like I was like, okay, let's go. Carry. So I started drinking. I was drinking everything. So then I met this man. He liked the fact that I didn't care about anyone. I was just dancing on my own. So he came and joined me and started dancing, and I became friends with him because of that, because he said he liked how free I was. I want to go back to those days. Those were cool days. Like I was free. I didn't care. Yeah, I wasn't dancing to impress anyone. I was just dancing on my own. But I remember going back home. I woke up the next morning with a migraine. Like I thought I was gonna die. It was so bad. That being said, do not mix your alcohols. Do not mix everything. It is terrible. I mixed champagne. I mixed wine. I mixed whiskey. I was just mixing everything I could find because people just kept offering me drinks, and I didn't. now I'm a changed person, okay? I'm not like that anymore, okay? And if you see me like that, mind your business. Moving on to the next story. So the next story is my first fight. With regards to my first fight, I did a video about my dad making me face a bully, and that was actually my first fight because I had never fought before until then. It was my very first fight. However, there was another fight that happened when I was growing up, and that one was like my second and probably my last fight. I don't fight. But with that one, it happened when I went to the village as usual. And back then, each time I went to the village, my mom would organize the classes for me there as well. And the man who used to tutor us back then was my mom's friend. So whenever I go to class, my sharp mouth, I start insulting people and everything. They would kind of forgive me because the teacher was always there to defend me, you know. And I used to be very annoying because I would always want to answer every question, like what is it? I'll answer, I'll raise my hand. I was that annoying, and they didn't like that. So there was this particular girl. At the time, she wasn't that bright, okay, and she used to pick on everyone, including me. I had insulted her so many times. There was this particular day that I went to classes. Unfortunately for us, the teacher didn't come that day. He was late, and I thought he was going to come later on. She did something as usual, and I insulted her, and she got upset. She said she was going to beat me. And I said, what? Can you beat me? Like I was giving her, like I was like, can you, like whatever? Because I thought my teacher was going to come. Fast forward, teacher didn't show up. Ha! We closed. Now let's go home. This girl is waiting for me to beat me. Beat who? I can't fight. What are you talking about? So, and I'm one person, I don't quit. I'm a very determined person. Like I would rather do it and lose than not do it at all. So I remember when it closed, like all the kids had gathered and they were like, we should fight, we should fight, we should fight. And this girl came and we started fighting, like whatever. I don't know how to fight. So like they pushed me to her and we started whatever. So what we're doing, like we're struggling. I was strong. I just didn't know how to fight. Does it make sense? I was like a very slim, lanky child, but I was strong. So we started like struggling, and then one of the kids told her that she put her legs in between my legs and cross it. And I don't know what that means, like cross it and I'll fall. But she didn't get what the person meant because, like I said, she wasn't the brightest. So whatever the person said, I heard it and like I used it on her. And you guys, she fell down. And I got up. And because she was like known as the area mama, if you beat her, she won't understand. Like she wants to do it all over again. As soon as that happened, she got up and she was like, no, like she won't understand. We should fight again, blah blah blah. And like, the girl was not ready. I knew in my heart that it was right. It was luck. It was pure luck. Because the girl, the kind of people the girl was beating, like I was nothing. Like. Anyway, she got up and she was like, we should fight again. Luckily for me, there was a woman who was like, was it a man or a woman? I don't remember. But there was someone who had closed from a farm and he was going home, and then the person was like, no, it's not gonna happen, and the person dragged me. So I apologize if the video looks a bit different. My battery died, like it just casually died on me. Just when the story was about to get interesting, Canon G7X happened. Anyway, like I was saying, luckily for me, this person that was coming from the farm was going home. And the person was like, I should follow the person. So I followed the person, and then like we got to town where I knew that she couldn't do anything to me, and I went home. The next day my teacher was there. I never fought with her again, but each time I saw her, I just gave her a distance. Like, we don't have that, okay? Stay there and let me stay here. You feel me? But yeah, that was it. Those are the only times I remember like exchanging blows with someone. But just in case you're still wondering which one the first one was, go check out my video about my dad making me fight my bully. That's my first fight. I've had exchanges with people because, you know, my mouth is sharp and I cannot fight, but that's it. The blows one was two. Okay, so moving on to my first sex. Okay, so my first sex was pretty whack. Like it wasn't what I was expecting. Okay, like you watch movies, you see people talk about sex and it's like exciting, and you're like, okay, I'm going to do my dada because it's exciting, and then you do it and it's just like painful, and you're like, okay, so this is what I was rushing to do. Like, what else? Like, what next? I feel like it took me so many years for me to start enjoying sex. And my first boyfriend, I used to go to his place. He had brothers, so like I would go to their house and like we'll all chill in his dad's, whatever. So I think that particular day I went and like we're chilling and all those things. And I know black boys, but they gave each other signs. I didn't see it at the time. And we were watching a movie, and then like that movie turned into porn. Like the whole thing was just manipulated. And then whatever, and it happened, okay? Don't get me wrong, he didn't force me or anything of that sort. If I'm being honest, at the time I did it because of the pressure. Now, mind you, there are so many factors or so many reasons why I probably didn't enjoy it. Because first of all, at the time I hated anything that had to do with sex, because like I mentioned, you've seen any of my videos, I had been raped before, so the whole sex thing was like disgusting. That's just the right word. So at the time I did it because, okay, he's my boyfriend, okay, he has been patient with me for a while and he wants to have sex, so why don't I just do it, you know? Like, there's this thing that guys used to do, I don't know if they still do it, like, oh, so you don't want me, like, okay, so like I promise it's just you, I want to be with you and you only, and blah blah blah, all the bullshit they do. And so on and so forth. At the time, I honestly did it because I wanted to please him, and I don't think anyone should do that. I don't think anyone should have sex or break their virginity because, well, I wasn't a virgin. Seriously, guys, my virginity, everyone virginity at the age of 6, but I was doing it because I wanted to do him a favor. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It wasn't because I sat down and I was like, you know what, it's finally time for me to do it. And I feel like if you're out there and you want to break your virginity, or you're thinking of doing it, do it because you want to and not because you want to please your partner. I know that this generation, we're extremely impatient, and most of us like just like do everything around sex, like it's sex. But at the same time, if like someone really likes you and they understand, they would be willing to wait for you until you're ready, especially if you're a virgin. All I'm trying to say is that do it because you want to do it and not because you're trying to do your partner a favor, because most often it doesn't end well. You resent yourself afterwards, you wonder why you did it, and you probably hate it. And to be honest, sex is not magical until you've gotten used to it, or until you found a partner that you're really into. That's the only time it's magical. Like, it took me so many years for me to start enjoying sex. And don't get me wrong, I like my first boyfriend. In fact, I was in love with him and all those things, but a first is always a first. At the time, we're both teenagers. We were like both experimenting at the same time. At least that's what I thought. I don't know if you had ever done it, but from what I understand, we're both like trying to do it for the first time. So we're both just experimenting in ourselves. So unless like you meet someone that you know that, okay, this person like knows what they are all about, and you're really into that person, and you're doing it for you and not for them, then I highly advise that you do not do it. Okay, I think I just turned this whole thing into a sermon instead of a story time. But basically what I'm trying to say is that my first time was a disaster. Okay, I finished and I was like, what the hell was that all about? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I felt dirty, and when I got home, like I just like cried myself to sleep. Like, it didn't make any difference. I mean, there are a bunch of other people who have like gone through the same thing. Your first time is not always perfect, but if it's your decision and if it's your choice, then it will be better than if you actually did it for someone else. It wasn't magical. My first time wasn't magical. It just happened in a room on a bed. Anyway, you guys, this brings us to the end of the story time. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comment section what your first time was. When was the first time you had a fight? When was the first time you had sex? How was it? Was it good? Was it bad? Is it something you would change if you had to, or you would like always choose that night over anything? Let me know in the comment section below, and let me know what you want me to do next. And about my first boyfriend, I actually have a story time with him as well. But let me know in the comment section you want me to do that story time as well, and I'll get right into it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've not subscribed already, please do that and hit the notification bell so that each time I post a video, you'll be the first to be notified. And as I always say, I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah.